It was a windy, gloomy autumn day when Karl, after 30 long years of exile and self-denial, made the disheartened decision to return to his old homeland. Neusiedl, that unremarkable patch of earth, had changed little over the years. The same colourful houses, standing like painful memories along the streets, the flat, seemingly endless Neusiedler lake, embracing and simultaneously suffocating the village with its sluggish vastness. And of course, the sports field, that cursed piece of land that had once been the centre of his desperate existence. Karl, a gaunt man with deep wrinkles on his face that told of the suffering of countless missed opportunities and lost hopes, slowly wandered through the familiar streets. Every step was a torture, every breath an act of regret and remorse. It was as if the past was holding him back with invisible chains, as if every corner of Neusiedl reminded him of the catastrophic football season of 1983/84, when SC Neusiedl achieved only one victory in an unprecedented disaster. And even that victory wasn't fought on the field, but decided at the green table after Union Wels went bankrupt and dissolved during the winter break. 27 defeats and 2 draws. A bitter, pitiful record that pierced his heart like a rusty nail. Karl had been one of SC Neusiedl's most passionate supporters back then, never missing a game, standing in the rain, snow, and scorching summer heat, always hoping that his unwavering loyalty could change the team's fate. But every defeat was like a creeping poison that tainted his soul, crushed his hope. The last place in the standings was the final death blow to his belief in football and Neusiedl. In a fit of despair and frustration, he renounced football, packed his bags, and moved to a foreign city, determined never to look back. Yet time, that relentless time, had a cruel way of healing wounds while hardening the scars. The years passed, and with them grew a quiet but nagging desire to understand the roots of his sorrow and make peace with the past. And so he stood now, at the edge of the sports field, its only grandstand rising like a silent guardian, while the rest of the field was surrounded by modest, natural stands, gentle hills that had once carried his hopes and dreams. The memory of the fan he once had been returned with such force that it took his breath away. He saw himself, young and full of untamed passion, waving the SC Neusiedl flag, his voice hoarse from countless desperate chants. He remembered the agonizing Saturdays when the team had suffered yet another humiliating defeat, the dejected faces of the players, and the oppressive silence that settled over the stadium, as if every hope had been buried with the final whistle. And then, like a lightning bolt, the realization struck him. It wasn't football that had betrayed him, but his own unfulfilled expectations and miserable pride. The team had fought, had suffered, just as he had, but in his relentless bitterness, he had denied himself the joy and solace that sport and community could have offered. The real enemy wasn't the defeat, but his own inability to cope with it. Karl took a deep breath, feeling the cold wind hitting his face like icy needles, and the burning cold in his chest slowly gave way to a strange warmth. He knew that he finally had to let go, that it was time to make peace with his past. With every step he took away from the sports field, he felt lighter, freed from the burden of old disappointments. As he saw Neusiedler Lake glittering in the distance and the gentle waves lapping the shore, he understood that beauty and hope were still there. They had just been waiting for him to see them again. The colourful houses shone towards him, and for the first time in many years, Karl smiled. The moral of his story became clear to him. One must accept the past to find peace in the present. And so, he returned not only to Neusiedl, but also to himself.